Patrick was actually one of my lit review students last year. That's right, yeah?
No.
Who was it?
I was Mark Knight.
Oh yeah, that was it. Well, that's embarrassing. Second embarrassing thing of the day. When did we first? Okay, well this is a discussion not to be had in front of the class. Okay, Patrick was Mark Knight's lit review supervisee last year, who got a great mark and really enjoyed it. And we thought we'd invite him back to talk about his experience of being a student last year. This is great. I thought that he was going to have to say nice things, but now he can say what he likes. To tell you about how his experience of writing a review and what he got from it as well. So go for it, Patrick.
Okay, Grant, thank you very much. I hope everyone can hear me, because I might be walking about a little bit with this thing on. So I'm not going to try and tread water. I mean, Tim's done a pretty good introduction, but yeah, my name is Patrick Hughes. I'm currently Martin Goldberg's MBIOL student, doing my research project with him, and 12 months ago I was like, you guys doing my literature review, and thankfully I did submit it and got a good grade. And I reached out to Tim and asked to be here to sort of give a talk a couple months ago, and yeah, here we are. So let's see where we're starting. So the overview of the talk today is just going to be quite simple. There's going to be two aspects I want to talk about. First of all being, I say different models, I'm more meaning my model, and where you guys might be in it currently, and what you might be coming up in the next couple of weeks or months. And then the importance of original synthesis, such as using biorender, acknowledging figures, as that's sort of, funnily enough, been almost like it was planned, if you can believe it, like we've been talking about today. So, in terms of the plan, I made this little thing with biorender upon preparation for this talk, and you guys are probably around identify the importance of the question to you and the field, as I believe you've either submitted or have wanted to submit on identifying a question, including some references. I'm not sure whereabouts you'd be about now. Oh, okay, might be the next one. Anyway, so hopefully you have identified the importance of the question to yourself and to the field. And I say identify it to you because this is the first time that you have a summative which is entirely up to you. I mean, it has to be within a reasonable field and within 5,000 words, but this is the first time a topic can be picked by you. It's not really dependent on a module or that much dependent on the lecturer. And also, these 5,000 words are based on the material and also your interpretation and understanding of that material. As the showing understanding is what's going to get you high marks, certainly higher marks than you would get if you just wrote a bunch of facts incoherently, almost like a lab report. So rewinding a little bit, I would say choose a subject that you're passionate about, because writing all that concisely and in a nice narrative which has all facts and figures and text explained and connected together can be quite a challenge. So having that passion makes it a lot easier and easier to write. So when I was in your shoes and my supervisor, not Tim, Mark Knight, but I talked about science communication, I was learning about science communication, and the most important two lessons I got from him was, first of all, your opening sentence within each paragraph has to be like a topic sentence. It's like what you're going to discuss for the rest of the paragraph, almost like an introduction to the paragraph itself. Obviously very brief, but it's still very important. And the second thing is that every time you bring up terminology or something new, you have to explain it in a manner that you're speaking to an undergraduate, not to a professor or to a postgrad or anything like that. Because the supervisor, unless you're picking the supervisor's speciality or subspeciality, whatever they're researching, it's unlikely they're going to be an expert in that field. And almost they will understand the fundamentals, but not its ongoing research, or not its intricacies or flaws, whatever you're going to discuss. For example, Mark Knight is self-signaling, and he predominantly works in plants though. And my review was on the cellular immunopathology of multiple sclerosis, which most of you I imagine will know is a motor neuron disease. And so, even though he did cell signaling, and obviously cell signaling is involved with such a complex case, as far as I know, multiple sclerosis doesn't happen in sunflowers, so it wasn't necessarily the most reliable person to come to in regards to that. So also actually on that note, which I just realised, you can reach out to other lecturers. By all means, that's what I did. I reached out to Adam Brennan, who was a big immunology guy. I did pretty much straight away. And he gave me 2 great reviews, which were like the centre of my paper and what I built upon on top of that. Also, the rest of this cycle here is like probably, it's quite simplistic, so I'll be brief, but it is either what you have gone through or if you are ahead, because I know this has been open all year, what you are going through or what you will be going through quite soon. Especially because references, you know, I believe you'll probably have about 50 or so references that you'll need to include in your reference list. And most of them you probably don't have already, obviously, or even or dissected or gone through. You're probably going to be doing this around like a cycle. Like for me, I managed my references and built upon them, used to build upon my figures throughout the entirety of my write-up, 48 hours before it was due, of course. And then eventually got these two nice figures that I've reduced quite predominantly, which will be the centre for original synthesis. So importantly here, I'm not going to make you spot the difference between these two. I'll make you find a problem with one of them because my name's Wally or Waldo or whatever. But one is unoriginal and one is original. In particular, this one on the left is unoriginal because it's directly taken from a paper, being taken from PhD 2018. Whilst the one on the other one is made by me with BioRender, which is something we'll get back to shortly again. And the way I see figures in literature review, and I think this is being confirmed when talking to TIm again, is that you should see them in 3 different ways. You should see them as either figure taken, figure modified, or made with. Figure taken is exactly what it says on the tin. You've basically taken it from a reference source in its entirety, and you've used it and reproduced it in your own review. Figure modified is a bit different, because it's either like, let's see if we can go back far enough. It's almost like you're taking one of Tim's, let's say just figure 1D here, or you take another one which is 2A or 2C or 3B or whatever, and then you add that to your review, just by itself or in combination with another subsection of a figure. Or you take a figure in its entirety and then you modify it, you build upon it and change it, sort of like these 2 figures, which is this one's actually the one I created in my formative. No, it didn't look like this final draft here. It didn't have any of the numbers, stuff like this says EBV infected cell, that wasn't there, the salt wasn't there just yet. But it sort of, I took this and built upon it from a paper and made it by myself. Did I say what figure made was? I don't think I did. Figure made then is also just doing it by yourself with BioRender from your own source, your head, in that case, not paper, and making it like I said before, like this one, quite nice, quite pretty. Now to make these, I don't really know if it's been I hope it's been talked about. You guys probably have heard of it because BioRender's been around for a while now, and yeah, I told you it's going back, so there it is. BioRender is actually, I think it's great, I think it's fantastic. I use it for the lit review, I use it for CIB, I use it for my summative this year actually. Just recently I had one on a departmental seminar and that was really good. BioRender, not my work, that was a bit, I don't know how that was. But BioRender is really good because it has templates, it has designs that you can build on by yourself. Don't go claiming it's your work, obviously, but they give great ideas. Like I saw one with Helen the other day, it was like a motor neuron, and they just opened it up and showed all the degeneration and all the possible effects that could happen to it, and explained it really nicely, really concisely. They also have these like great little icons and stuff and text, and it comes out in really nice high resolution that they use for papers and stuff. It's fantastic, and obviously it's free, and they even use it in PowerPoint presentations now if you do end up including that. Another reason about original synthesis in figures is probably because you need copious amounts of text. Now, I don't mean text as in like the text Tim was talking to before. You shouldn't just use like a table to summarise text and have no meaning behind it. But with this, you need quite a bit of text. It's almost like you're taking the figure independently from the paper. So to give a bit of context, I know previously you guys have seen, obviously know what figure legends are, you've used them throughout your entire degree, but they might have just been before to explain a point, a data point, or an idea, but this time around, like the figures were a bit more complicated, and like I said, they almost seem like you're taking them independently from the paper, and like they're reviewed independently, like almost like it's from the text. That doesn't make, it does not correlate to the text at all. Obviously it is. I'm not saying write the material as if the figure doesn't exist, or write the figure as if the text doesn't exist. You obviously have to do that. And you should obviously just try and discuss the same ideas within the text. You shouldn't just willy-nilly include ideas which is in the figure which is not in the text. You need to make sure it makes sense to the reader. But that also means that, first of all, obviously you state that if you've modified it or taken the figure, and then you explain this situation in a new manner. Because what I learned from David Dryden, whether you've liked him or hated him before he left, is that you should not repeat the same words verbatim as you did in the text, as you did in the figure legend. You should phrase it new, you should almost like it is independent, and you've written it in a new manner, and it's going to be judged, like I said, independently, which I said like 5 times now. I think that's mostly, one last thing, abbreviations. You might have a list of abbreviations within your literature review, and as I saw before on TIM's, this is what just came back to me, it's necessary to include abbreviations within the figure legend as well. So I'm unsure whether I've included any abbreviations in these ones. Oh yes, I did here. So MS is theorized to be with pathogens hijacking antigen-presenting cells, or APCs. So that I've actually used in the main text. I've obviously clarified it in the list of abbreviations, but you have to clarify it again in the figure legends for the reader, which obviously will count towards your work out, but you just have to be writing concisely in a good narrative like we talked about before. Okay, that's me. If you have any questions, feel free to come down and ask me. And I know that last bit might have got a bit weird and waffly with figure legends and text and all that stuff, but I hope it all made sense. Yeah, if you have any questions, come ask me. Good luck with your reviews.